Hello, my name is Fred Hodgins, and I would like to talk about and share about a breakthrough that's happening that's actually disrupting big food, big pharma, giving regular people like you and I back our health and an opportunity to be able to really improve not only our health, but improve our finances with our family. I'd like to do that with a simple story that I called the Garbage Man story. So let's get to it. Now, we call this the Garbage Man story. And why? Because garbage men, to me and to many of us, are the heroes of our economy. They get up and go to work every day, these men and women, and they pick up the trash. They do a very tough job, kind of a thankless job, and are out keeping our cities clean, and our counties, our towns. They get up again every day. So they're out making a difference every day. So thank you to the blue collar people, to the garbage men and women of the land, of our countries. And me, I'm a blue collar guy. So this made sense to me. I was an electrician. We got a little farm. And so we're going to change from the garbage men to the cellular garbage men. Now, here's the story. So when we were 20 years old, we're young and healthy, prime reproductive years. If you remember back, that's what we looked like. Everything worked good, everything was happy, and we could do lots of extra work and get, probably not as much sleep and function and do good. And I noticed as I watched my parents when I was in my 40s and see things as they were aging, I looked around at what was happening in the world, and I noticed that what 80 was not the same as 20. But I also noticed that 30 wasn't 20, right? As I watched my kids when they were in their, teens and 20s, and then 30 wasn't 20, and 40 wasn't 30, certainly wasn't 20, and 50 and 60 and 70 and so forth. And so when we're 20, when we're young, everything's working well, as I mentioned. We have these big, strong gut microbiome, proteins, the mitochondria, cellular activators that are in our cell. Then there is just obviously science understands this and knows this very well. When we're 20, it's all working good. And when we're again, as we age, it slowly, slowly, slowly starts to decline until at some point it just, kind of falls off a cliff. I'm going to use 80 as that example here. And but back to the garbage men. So these cellular proteins, one's called NRF2, but the mitochondria, the gut microbiome, when we're young, they're big and strong, like this young fella. That is, again, is the hero of our economy, and that's who we want to be taking out the trash. Is people that look like this. Look at the muscles on that guy. Think of that as cellular garbage men in our cells. We want guys like this and this in our cells taking out the trash. And so, again, as we age, what happens is these garbage men are getting smaller. They're more tired. They're not showing up to work each day. When they're at work, they don't take out as much trash, right? They're just not as effective as when we're really young here. So we see these young people, they just got a little bit of trash, and these big, strong garbage men, they take it all out. But as we age, the trash builds up. And this oxidative stress, this trash is called oxidative stress. The cellular trash is called oxidative stress. When we're young here, there's just a little bit of oxidative stress. And as we age, there's more. And it just continues to increase, to increase, to increase. As the garbage men are getting smaller and weaker and not doing their job, the trash builds up. Now, oxidative stress is actually a medical term. There's over 350,000 studies linking it to disease and dysfunction. In another video, we can show you where that is and go to PubMed. But the question is, what if there was a way to signal to these cellular garbage men to say, to turn on a switch, to turn on cellular switches where we say, hey, Mr. Garbage Man, you're not, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. You're actually 20. Do your job. Well, what do 20-year-old garbage men do? They're big and they're strong. They take out the trash. They do their job and they take out the trash. And so the trash comes down. What if, your body could be doing that? And in the blood tests for oxidative stress, the 20-year-old and the 80-year-old is the same. What if, what would your cells be doing? Your cells, your body, you could just screaming the happy dance, doing the happy dance because you're feeling good. You have energy. You can take out, your body is taking out the trash, but what does that mean? Because you have energy to play with your grandkids. If you're in your 30s and 40s, that afternoon fog that you have at work where you're tired, or the busy mom, that's, even though, the homeschool mom who's, another hero of our society, but the moms that are out making a difference, taking their kids to dance, to hockey, to baseball, as the families are working together. What if there was more energy to do all the daily activities that we did? And as we age, we can age and be strong and healthy, like these people here. So let's just reason together that what if turning on these cellular switches was accomplished by a publicly traded biotech company and all of their products, and they keep developing more. The science there, we got 2,000 doctors that work with us in the field that activate the body's cells. What if there's patents, peer review studies, proven, natural, safe, written up in medical journals, has done over $3 billion in revenue and is growing. Right now, we did $220 million last year. We acquired a gut microbiome company. What if this is expanding globally and locally? And what if this company chose a model where they go direct from the manufacturer to the consumer and they share 50% of the revenue with folks like us? They consciously made the decision to work with families and people instead of big box stores and Amazon. And what if you could be part of this movement? Well, first off, let's ask the question, for these cellular garbage men and activating them, would there be a market for it? And secondly, would you want to know about it? Would you want to know about it for you and your family? When I saw this, I saw an ABC News report that went over this. I knew I wanted this for my wife. I knew I wanted this for my kids, my parents, the people I cared about. So would you want to know about it? Would there a market for it? Or would you rather we just kept it a secret and didn't say anything and just used it for ourselves? Well, there's a decision that needs to be made, and I encourage you to get back to the person that shared this information with you so far. But I want to take it a step further because I'm sure you agreed, yes, there'd be a market for it, and yes, I would want to know more about it. Well, what if, again, just a quick repeat, activation to take out the cellular trash. Blood tests showed that you couldn't tell the difference between the blood of an 80-year-old and a 20-year-old, meaning it brought the blood of an 80-year-old down to that of a 20-year-old. What if that was published on ABC News, did an investigation? What if there was peer review studies? Again, would there be a market for it? Obviously there is. We've done $3 billion worth of revenue. Would you pay, anywhere from like $60 a month to access this, this breakthrough product? Some people, we people pay $150, $200 a month, or $400 a month. Would you pay to have better health, to activate your cells, to get these benefits, to have more energy, to keep up with your kids and your grandkids? Would you want to get the products for free? Right? When I saw that, yeah, I'd want to get the products for free, but I saw it bigger than that right from almost like day two. I knew that there was a market and if there was a way to create an income, I wanted to know how. What if you could buy back your time by turning the 40-year financial plan of working for someone else, getting a good job in education. In my case, I got an education as an apprentice and got a good job. What if you could take and build leverage into your life and shrink that into a 1 to 5 year plan? It's simple, and there's a system in place to follow. So what if you could do that? Well, we call this the modern leveraged income model. But we need to talk about the basics of leverage. Again, I learned linear income, trading time for dollars, working for somebody else. I also have had many businesses over the years, but it's still all dependent on me doing the work. And so, what with the basics of leverage, we agree that these products are there's a market for it and we would want to consume them, right? So, what if the foundation is consuming the products and having one customer, one shopper, and that shopper could be your spouse. You know, in time it's going to grow to more than one shopper, but I'm going to keep it at one shopper. And consuming the products, you can have that with your spouse. Having more energy, releasing weight, becoming your optimum weight, feeling good, having your cells doing the happy dance. And you share this with a couple people. Probably people will be saying to you, no, hey, wow, you look great. You've released some weight. And you were talking about how much energy you have and how well you feel. People are going to want to know about it. Your family is going to want to know. People you work with, people close to you, and then people that don't know you are going to become attracted to you. And we just consume the products. So if we just taught this and we had two affiliates, and they each had a shopper, and that shopper could be their spouse, and we just duplicated this for three generations, that'd be 13 people consuming these products. What would the income be? Well, that would be 500. The average is this is an audited financial statement that's published by our company. That's a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ. $530 is the average. So obviously your products are way more than free, and you're having some tax benefits and tax write-offs. And the average income is $6,000 a month at this level. It takes approximately 4 months to do this. That's the average it takes, not approximately. It's the average it takes for people that reach this rank level. It's an average of 4 months. Now, what if we just kept going? Actually, we can't stop it at this point because people are going to continue for themselves and are going to share this concept, share this breakthrough, share this activation story, and it duplicates for 5 generations. Well, that would be 63 people that are shopping and consuming. That'd be an average income of $1,700 a month, $20,000 a year. Imagine getting your boss saying, "Hey, John or Julie, we're going to give you a $20,000 a year raise, but you got to spend an extra half hour a day, 5 days a week, and at the end of a year, you'll get that." Well, that's what we do here and that the average to get to this rank is 11 months. But let's just say, boy, you're a little bit more ambitious and you share it with 5 people, right? There's 5 people that have asked you, or 5 people that want to activate their cells and do better. And they each enroll just their spouse, right? It could be, again, anybody, but we're saying that it could be their spouse. And we duplicate this for 3 generations. Now the average income is $6,700. That's $80,000 a year. Before, when it was just 2 people and duplicated through 3 generations, I think that was $500 a month. So by just adding a few more people and duplicating that, it makes the power of leverage, the modern leveraged income model, because now you're adding more value, you're helping more people. Let's just say we duplicate this for 5 generations, 5 affiliates and a shopper for 5 generations. Now, the average income here is over $100,000 a month, and it's over $1 million a year. The average it takes for the people that have reached this is 52 months. Let's say in all of these examples of the months, we actually doubled it and it took double to that. Would it be worth it? What if it was triple? So what if we doubled this from 52 months to 100 months, right? What if we went from 5 years to 10 years to accomplish this? I can tell you that it's worth it to just earn a few extra dollars a month to get your products for free. To earn an extra $500 or $1,000 a month, what if that took a year or two and we're disrupting the traditional financial plan? Well, here's some of my friends and colleagues that have accomplished this at the highest ranks, that are 7-figure income earners, and they're regular folks. So let's reason together. Let's just look at what I call phase 2, called the influencer income model. And this is, again, the multiplier effect. Now, there's people out there that we all know that own a hair salon or own a gym or own that love their jobs with traditional retail. They have customers. And there's people that are called influencers on social media, right? That they're looking for ways to monetize their influence by adding value. They're not looking to scam people and just sell something to get make money. If they could sell something that's activating your cells, and they could tell a story to activate your cells to slow the rate at which we age, would people be interested in that? So let's talk about this influencer, and they can earn up to 40% on all their shopper orders. The average is 30%, 7%. I'm going to use 30 because in our subscription model, that's 30% with zero sponsoring any affiliates. So these people, I'm calling the hair salon or the influencer on social media. They craft a story. We help them with that. We know how to do that. We know how to teach this. And let's just say they have 25 shoppers. You can see that here. 25 shoppers, this influencer, no affiliates. Their income is going to be about $1,200 a month every month. Not their first month, which is most affiliate programs, but every month they earn this with people buying the products. And let's just say they had 100 shoppers, right? It was a big hair salon or people were sharing this. And the average income would be 40, because it's 30%, the average is going to be $4,800 a month every month with these shoppers purchasing these products. What if it was a bigger influencer that had a bigger social media platform and that had 1,000 shoppers? Well, that's 30% of the revenue would be $48,000 a month. Not one month, but every month. Now, how does that work for you? I'm not an influencer, and I don't know any influencers directly, social media influencers. How can you earn income by sharing it? So say you find an influencer, you know somebody, or you have a connection with somebody, and let's just use them having 100 shoppers. Well, they're earning $4,800 a month, 30% of the revenue. You're earning 10% of the revenue or $1,600. So the company says, since you got this started and people are moving product, the company's paying out roughly 50% of the revenue, as we mentioned earlier, but you're going to make $1,600 a month every month for this. Maybe you're saying, I don't know any influencers. I certainly didn't and don't. But the basics of leverage, there's people in the network and the people in the world that actually are that are influencers. Well, what if somebody someone so they know and they know, and they find that influencer on your fifth generation? Well, the influencer is going to earn that 30% or $4,800 having 100 shoppers, about $4,800. The person that shared it with them will make that I think it was $1,800. Well, you're going to earn, because it's on the fifth generation, 6%. What are the odds of that not happening by just being steady and learning this concept? What if it's on your ninth generation? Well, then you earn 3% and it's $450 a month every month, just from that one influencer, not counting your whole organization that you got started that's all tracked with the computer and by the company. The power of leverage is financial freedom, or is personal freedom, health freedom, is peace of mind, and it feels good. I'll tell you that it feels good. So what can we, the little guy or gal, do, right? The blue collar person that gets up every day and goes to work. First thing we do is we just stop using unclean, unhealthy products that aren't good for us, right? We stop putting that in and on our bodies. And we stop supporting the big box stores where we can, which is actually supporting the billionaires, the big box stores, the Amazons, and we start supporting ourselves. And we switch where we buy things from. We start buying things from ourselves through our own shop, these activation products. We start buying from ourselves and through our company, and you support local. You support families, moms and dads that are getting paid. We disrupt big box stores, big pharma and the billionaires, one family at a time, by activating our cells. So the third step is we just activate our cellular garbage men, which upregulates the good things, downregulates the bad things. It takes out the trash. We get the most of our health. We live life optimally, and we can help the people that we care about most. So get back to the person that shared this with you. Get some details. We can get started for as little as $50 and have access to these products. But let's dig a little deeper and get your questions answered. and let's live life optimally. The future is really bright when we have positive leverage working in our lives. So with that, thanks for the time to listen to this and watch this and contemplate what if you could do this too? We're here to help you. All right, have a wonderful day and all the best to you and your family.